Welcome back. Welcome to the news belt of the AM show. Now we start with our first story. President Akufo-Addo has reiterated his government's commitment to investing in the country's power sector. He said several policies and measures had been outlined to promote green investments and foster a culture of energy efficiency. President Akufo-Addo made the statement at the commissioning of a 15 peak megawatt solar power plant at Kalio in the Upper West region. JoyNews' Upper West regional correspondent Rafiq Salam now reports.
President Akufo-Addo noted that the commissioning of the 15 megawatt solar power project at Kalio is not just about providing electricity, but represented a fundamental shift towards sustainable development. He averred that renewable energy sources such as solar power does not only reduce the country's reliance on fossil fuel, but also help reduce the effect on climate change as well.
By investing in renewable energy infrastructure, we're securing a reliable source of electricity and creating new opportunities for economic growth and job creation. This plant will not only power homes and businesses, but also serve as a catalyst for development in the Upper West region, attracting investment and spurring innovation. To this end, government is implementing a series of policies and measures to incentivize green investments, foster a culture of energy efficiency, and prioritize the development of solar, wind, and hydroelectric power projects as key strategies for the growth of the energy sector in the country. Vision, however, is not only to be energy self-sufficient, but also to set the stage for Ghana to emerge as an eco-friendly country in the region, inspiring neighboring countries to follow suit in their pursuit of a greener, more energy technology-centered future.
President Akufo-Addo spoke of the benefits that the people in the region and the country at large will derive from the commissioning of the solar power plant.
From this plant, adding 15 megawatts of power to the national electricity grid will also improve the quality of power supply in the Upper West region, reduce national carbon emissions by displacing energy that gas-fired thermal plants would otherwise have generated. I'm told that is estimated at 8,117 tons. It will also promote practical studies in the development of solar power by the technical universities in the northern part of the country. As I indicated 2 years ago, government is continuously investing in the electricity transmission network to enable the country to evacuate more reliable renewable energy through the national grid to support the extension of electricity to all parts of the country.
Deputy Minister for Energy, Herbert Krapper, assured Ghanaians of the plans put in place by President Akufo-Addo to ensuring that the power outages in the country are a thing of the past.
His Excellency the President has led all of us in the power sector to ensure that we're putting arrangements in place to procure additional fuel to run all our thermal plants and power producing plants at full capacity. And His Excellency the President has also led realignment of operational and technical arrangements in the entire power sector value chain, which is the reason I'm able to assure the people of Ghana that in the next few days, the power challenges that we are seeing under the leadership of His Excellency the President, it will be a thing of the past.
The project was funded by the German Development Bank, KfW, at 60 million euros with counterpart funding from the Volta River Authority, VRA, pegged at 8.2 million euros. Akufo-Addo is the board chair of Volta River Authority.
Aside from confirming our commitment to ensure the provision of clean and reliable and sustainable power, the completion of this plant today has enormous benefits to the Kaleo community and by extension the northern parts of the country. I think it is true to say that with this plant up and running, this community will be the first community in Ghana, including the Wa area, to run solely on solar power on good days.
There were representatives from the Spanish, German embassies and the European Union at the function. Our Power Regional Minister, Stephen Yakubu, disclosed that the project is of enormous importance to the people, starting from the construction stage, which has employed several people in the region.
During its construction phase, the project provided employment opportunities for several individuals, with 95% hailing from nearby communities. Additionally, the project's corporate social responsibility initiatives, including the rehabilitation of the Kaleo DA Primary School, improvement of road infrastructure, and the potential for tourism development, exemplify our commitment to holistic development and community empowerment.
The Kaleo solar power plant will increase Ghana and Viera capacity to 50 megawatts. It will also diversify the energy portfolio by adding more renewable energy to its fold. Reporting for JoyNews, Rafik Salam, Kaleo.
Now, the National Democratic Congress's running mate, Professor Opoku-Agyemang, has avowed that the next NDC administration will prosecute all government officials involved in corruption. She made the promise at a ceremony to outdoor her as running mate to former President John Dramani Mahama ahead of the 2024 election. She has, among other things, taken a swipe at government over what she believes is a mismanagement of the economy. My colleague James Aveji has more in this report.
Draped in the symbolic red, white, green and black colors of the umbrella, hundreds of NDC sympathizers and party bigwigs gather here at the UPSA auditorium in Accra to witness the outdooring of Professor Opoku-Agyemang as running mate to John Dramani Mahama.
Professor Jane Nana Opoku-Agyemang.
Chairman of the party, Johnson Asedu Nketia, set the tone for the night by bursting the bubbles of those anxiously waiting for appointments in the next NDC government.
Some people are not only fighting about the positions they will occupy, they are telling all others that they will be the kingmakers and they will be making their appointment. If we are not careful, this will dampen the enthusiasm and the spirit of our followers.
Rolling out her vision to party faithfuls and Ghanaians, Professor Jane Nana Opoku-Agyemang did not shy away from taking a swipe at government.
I don't know about you, but the image I get looking at that hole is a trench in utter shock that anyone could believe it was intended as a Thanksgiving gift to the Almighty, invisible, God only wise. Such a report will not find COVID money shared for partisan political campaign purposes. I will not, in the advancement of self-serving ambition, declare to the whole world that I was only the driver's mate.
So what will her government offer Ghanaians?
The report will highlight new roads, harbors, railway lines, not what we've seen of late, Ayalolo buses. You will find the lack of intimidation of opposing voices. You will find serious investment and practice to enable a digitized economy and society. The report will go on to point at housing projects, including the famous Saglemi housing complex, and even those that somebody has happily raised to make room for a presumed.
knowing the role Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is playing as head of the economic management team and lead on government digitization agenda and what may be expected of the next Vice President, former President John Dramani Mahama explains what the exact job description of his Vice President will be.
She has great insights into human resource management, empowerment and social development. And under my administration, she will have oversight, among others, of the education sector, the health sector, gender and social protection.
Professor Nana Opoku-Agyemang says the next NDC administration will deal with all corrupt government officials.
John and I have agreed that whoever has participated in the plunder of the state must be held accountable. And my friends, this is not a threat, it is a promise.
As to whether this second John and Jane ticket will deliver victory for the NDC come December 7, 2024, the race has just begun. James Savage, JoyNews.
He is confined to the use of crutches, but that does not in any way limit his ability to keep the traffic flowing and the streets safe. This is the story of 47-year-old physically challenged Bernard Quay. For the past 11 years, he has found joy in directing traffic in parts of Accra when the lights fail to shine. Bernard believes this is his contribution to nation building. My colleague Emmanuel Jivenu has more in Joy Prime's latest feature, Crutches and Courage.
It is evening rush hour and vehicular congestion is building here at the Mataheko intersection. Forward. In this thick congestion is Bernard, a 47-year-old physically challenged, an area of hope when the traffic lights fail to shine. For the past 11 years, Bernard has found joy in bringing order to the roads during the rush hours. His story began in 2013, the peak of erratic electricity supply, leaving many traffic lights powerless. It was then that Bernard, undeterred by his own challenges, stepped up to fill the void.
Whenever I reach any traffic that I see that there is jam, within some few minutes, I'll be able to see what I could do with it, how to manage them accurately, and there will be no crash.
His presence commands respect on the road. No motorist dares to challenge his authority. Yet, despite facing ingratitude from some drivers, Bernard sees his work as a contribution to nation building, echoing the president's call to be citizens and not spectators.
Within me, I know it is from God that I'm doing this too. I'm not doing it to praise anybody or to blame anybody. I do it just to praise God and to help my mind, my country, that's all. Like the president says, we should be citizens and not spectators.
As Bernard continues to navigate the busy intersections, he's concerned about the dysfunctional traffic lights in many parts of Accra.
We have to change the lighting system, the traffic situation, the traffic regulation field. We have to change it before things will function very well. No matter whoever, whether the police or whatever, because if the police come and stand there, the police is not a superman. He is not a Captain Planet. He can only say stop. At the end of the day, what happens to the traffic? We will only do his part when it is time that we do.
Bernard, whose dreams were altered by an unfortunate incident at the age of 8, remains undeterred. Confined to crutches, he now appeals for personal protective equipment to remain safe on the road.
I go to store and go and buy this reflector and the things that I'm using. With the little money I have, just to take care of the traffic situation. So, anything somebody thinks is recommendable for a support is almost welcome.
Bernard, the guardian of order, proving that strength is not always measured by physical ability, but by the resilience of the human spirit. Emmanuel Jivenu, Joy Prime.
Now, in a pioneering initiative aimed at combating vaccine misinformation, the Ghana Health Service and UNICEF have introduced the Cranky Uncle game, designed to educate individuals and the general public on vaccine misinformation. This innovative approach seeks to address vaccine hesitancy by fostering critical thinking and awareness of the importance of vaccinations in public health. Rejoice Semefakbesu has more.
Educational tool designed to combat misinformation and promote critical thinking about health topics, particularly in the context of vaccination. The game is part of efforts to address vaccine hesitancy and increase awareness of the importance of vaccinations in public health. The game aims to teach players how to recognize and respond to common arguments and myths related to vaccines and immunization. It encourages critical thinking by presenting players with scenarios where they must evaluate statements about vaccines. Social Behavior Change Officer at the UNICEF Country Office, Idi Idrisu, says the app is another way to reach out to people in the digital space and educate them on crucial health issues.
We learned from COVID, and as we also know, COVID came with so much misinformation and disinformation. So, and basically, people were just using common tricks such as fallacy, conspiracy theories, natural is best, as some of ways that they use to trick people around misinformation. So with these tricks, there was a need for people to be taught to identify misinformation. So in social behavior terms, we term it as pre-bunking. That is, you try to educate people by giving them information to identify those tricks. And the purpose of this app, one, is to kind of support, educate people, thereby promoting vaccine literacy. With UNICEF Social and Behavior Change, we use multiple channels of communication to be able to reach out to mass audience, to large group of people. And remember that we are in an era of digital age where people will want to use digital tools to be able to really understand things that are happening within their environment. And so for us, the app is just an additional way of expanding our reach to cover people who are on the digital space, especially young people who were behind the spread of some of this misinformation during COVID. Because they have access to digital tools, they are able to spread misinformation by just passing on whatever that it is. But with this app, they are able to, they themselves, learn and understand and identify some of these tricks, so that when they know that this material contains mis or disinformation, they are able to even not spread it.
The game typically involves scenarios or statements from a fictional character known as the Cranky Uncle, who spreads misinformation about vaccines. Players are presented with these statements and must decide whether they are true or false. By engaging with the game, participants learn to distinguish between accurate information and myths surrounding vaccines. The game helps to build skills in evaluating evidence and understanding the importance of immunization. The Cranky Uncle game app is available on the App Store for Apple phones and on the Google Play Store for Android.
Up next, according to the United Nations Development Programme, Ghana produces 12,710 tons of solid waste daily, but only 10% is collected and disposed of properly, with plastic waste forming a significant portion. Brigadier General Michael Akakpo, head of the Jospong Waste Academy, speaking at the Waste Academy's launch, urged the government to prioritize waste management and enact effective policies to improve the country's sanitation situation. There's more in this report.
To combat the rising sanitary issues, implementing effective and integrated solid waste management systems is imperative to meet complex demands. Public-private partnerships and grants remain key solutions for efficient waste management. Brigadier General Michael Akakpo, head of the Jospon Waste Academy, speaking at the launch of the Jospon Comtech Waste Academy, is advocating intensive sensitization and the formulation of a waste separation policy to ensure effective waste management.
Most of the time we think that Zoom Lion is all that it needs and they should just manage our waste. But policymakers from national level to the municipal and district assemblies must understand that waste management is for all of us. The environment we live in must be protected. So as part of the program, we're going to have interaction with them, seminars and workshops to create an awareness. And we hope that Parliament, as I mentioned, will come out with a legislation that will help us to do waste separation so that we'll be able to have the waste separated right at the source of generation. When that happens, collection and management is easier.
Brigadier General Michael Akpachu advocates further the reintroduction of environmental studies into the basic educational curriculum.
We work with the KNUST and the Vienna Technical University, so they will come with a policy paper which will also help us reintroduce environmental studies in the primary schools. It used to be there, it's been taken off. And then we also want to get our children the lower level of kids, right in the primary school, using the Zoom Kids Foundation to create awareness, games and other activities, tree planting, competition, cleaning of the environment, competition, all those things, to be able that our kids are very much abreast. You know, children are very sensitive. If you're able to train our children very well, they can help us, even as parents, to manage our waste.
On her part, Austrian Consulate to Ghana, Rosemary Althner, pledged her outfit's support in aiding the development of the country, adding that plans are advanced in commissioning a consulate office in Ghana.
It's just sad if you drive around and you see all the plastics all over the place. And I'm not thinking that it's the fault of the people. I think is we haven't yet provided everyone the tools nor educate the children about waste management. This is something they can learn. It's the same thing when parents complain about their kids not tidying up their rooms. But do you ask yourself, have they provided them a shelf, a storage, something they can tidy up? The same thing in the schools. If you want the kids to not throw away their plastic and their waste, provide a bin for them so that they can put it in a bin. So it all starts with education and giving the right tools for the sanitation problem we have currently. Austria is working hard on it to open the embassy as soon as possible. And this will definitely enhance their bilateral agreements and politics, and it will help all of us to work better together if we have an embassy in Accra.
Access to information, data and technology remains crucial for efficient waste management. The launch saw the signing of an agreement between the Jospon Group and Comtech to improve waste management in Ghana. Stephen Mentor's report, read to you.
Now, in our final story, the paramount queen mother of Yamfo in the Ahafo region, Nana Darkwa Ampim II, through the Ohima Darkwa Foundation, has initiated a bold move expected to encourage more girls in her traditional area and beyond to study engineering programs at the tertiary level. Speaking at the launch of Girls in Engineering at Yamfo, Nana Darkwa said with the support of the government, organizations and individuals, they would be on track to create a more inclusive and equitable engineering industry. Precious Semivo has more.
Engineering is a problem-solving and innovative discipline that creates solutions to improve lives. However, the field has less female representation. According to the Ghana Institute of Engineers, only 7% of the engineering workforce in Ghana were women as of October 2020. The situation in Yamfo in the Ahafo region, a community that co-hosts the Newmont Ahafo North mines, is worse. However, the Ohima Darkwa Foundation is to help empower young girls to pursue engineering programs with the launch of Girls in Engineering at Yamfo to offer financial support, guidance, and mentorship to selected girls in Yamfo and beyond. Nana Darkwa Ampim II is the founder and paramount queen mother of Yamfo.
As a woman of unmet engineering dream, I I see the girls' engineering program as a beacon of hope, a platform that will give young women to perceive their passion for engineering, a fact I couldn't achieve. It will provide them with the guidance, mentorship, and support they need to overcome the challenges they may face on their journey. Through this program, we will nurture their curiosity, ignite their imagination, and equip them with the skills they need to thrive in this dynamic field. It is about changing mindsets, challenging stereotypes, and creating a future where young girls can dream without limitation.
Community Development Officer of Newmont Ahafo North Project, Grace Kabute, admonished the girls to focus on their academic work and take advantage of the many opportunities at the mines.
To advance our inclusion agenda, the Ahafo North Project has committed to progressively employ 50% of its workforce as women. Currently, women make up to 33% of the Ahafo North Project's employee workforce. This also offers opportunities to girls like you to take interest in STEM, build yourself through education, and take advantage of opportunities this project will bring in the near future.
The youngest Paramount Queen Mother in Asante appealed for support to propel the girls and help them realize their dreams in engineering.
Newmont is here, and I see my girls doing the petty works in the mining field. Upon second thought, I realized I need to go for this, coach them, sponsor them, so that they can also go to the university and bag these courses, so that they can also go and bag this higher engineering position in the mining field. As far as Newmont Ghana is in Yamfo right now, we are appealing to each and every single one to come to our aid to make these girls' dream come true.
Here are some of the students.
I want to be an engineer when I grow up, but I was thinking about my background in those things. What Nana is doing is really helpful, and I really appreciate that.
I'm very excited about this foundation. It's going to help us to study further in our education.
Precious Semevo, JoyNews, Yamfo.
Well, that's how we cap off the news. You can get more of our news on myjoyonline.com. But stay with us for the news review up next, right here on the AM Show.